Good morning. Welcome back to the podcast. Hi, Amanda.
Hello. Hi, everyone. We're so excited. It's going to be a really fun episode today.
Yes, in this episode, so Amanda had this great idea where every other week we're going to have just the two of us talking, and then we're going to have a guest on the next week. So you're going to get kind of unfiltered chatting between me and Amanda,
Hmm.
and we'll probably have a different topic every week. So this week we're going to be talking about just kind of like, everything, but also we found this thread up market report on the resale industry. And so we're gonna be talking about that today along with a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, so that's kinda how this is gonna go.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think there is so much stuff to talk about. Reselling is just like such a massive industry, but it's also niche at the same time. So I think there's a lot that we can dive into. We also want to start taking listener questions. So if you
Mhm.
guys want to chime in or if you have something specific you want us to dive into, we would love to do that because we want to talk about what you guys want to hear about or what you want to learn about. And we're not trying to come at it as like experts. We're just sharing our experiences. I've been in it for about 4 years. I know Sam's been in it a little less, but we've learned so much, and we've also talked to a lot of people, so I feel like we can just kind of use our collective knowledge to chat about it, to give some hopefully helpful tips, but also just, like, talk about reselling because it can be kind of a lonely thing to do when it really is like a solo job for so many of us.
Yeah, and you don't have an office to go to, you don't have you're doing this around your family,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
so
and they
it's
don't
like,
really
oh
get it a lot of the time, like, they're like, "Okay."
seriously. Yeah, yeah. We were talking offline. I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this online, Amanda, but like parenting and reselling are so similar. And I know not all resellers are
Mhm.
parents, and that doesn't matter, but it's everybody has their own flavor of doing stuff. And something
Yes.
I've been seeing more and more is people coming online and talking about how they're the experts in this, and you can only be
Mhm.
successful doing it this one way. And we both don't agree with that at all.
No, not at all.
And so I think that's something too, like, if you are a newer reseller like myself, I love watching TikTok. I love watching YouTube. No, I don't. That's a lie. I love watching TikToks.
Yeah, same.
I will watch YouTubes, but
Yeah.
where I can learn, and I've learned so much from people, but I think when people start presenting themselves as, like, the end all expert, and if you
Mhm.
don't do it this way, you're gonna fail and you're not gonna make money, I think that gets really dangerous.
I agree. I think it is so messy when you have just so many opinions and people are acting as an authority figure when it comes to reselling, but the truth is that we all do it differently. And there is no one way to be successful. So I would maybe be skeptical of people who are trying to act as an authority figure or like they know everything and they are going to tell you exactly how to
Mhm.
be successful just because that's not true. And like Sam said, like we're parents, so we refer a lot to or compare it a lot to motherhood. But it's like everyone has their own opinion on how to be a parent. Everyone has
Mhm.
their own opinion on how to be a reseller. And I think the best thing you can do is pick and choose the little things that resonate with you or try out a bunch of different stuff. I feel like that's what I do. I still do that to this day, especially with Whatnot. I'll be like, "Oh, that strategy worked for this person. Let me try it a couple times and see if it works." Half the time, not for me. The other half of the time, I'm like, "Wow, like I'm so grateful I get to learn from people that are doing different things than me." But it's like I am not just trying to watch someone and do like an exact blueprint of what they're doing because that's just not going to work.
Yeah, and it's all based on your audience, your algorithm,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of people don't think about, like, Poshmark and all of those. Those are algorithms, and it's based
Yes.
on your location. It's based
Mhm.
on and, both of us obviously post our stuff everywhere, like, we cross list it, and so you're
Uh-huh.
gonna get different audiences in different places, and if you have it open to international, and
Yeah.
whereas somebody online might only be giving you advice, and they don't have it open to international or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many variables.
Yeah. So I'm curious, I'm throwing in a curveball. Have you sold anything this week or within the last couple of weeks that you're like, somebody would have categorically told you, "Don't pick that up"?
Not recently, only because I am not, like, listing actively
Oh,
very
that's true,
well.
your palettes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I have, like I'm literally looking at my Hulken, it's sitting in my bedroom because this is where I photograph, and I'm like, I have so it's full, it needs to be, like, photographed and listed. I just
Hulken,
haven't gotten
sponsor
around to
us,
it.
please. We love
No,
our
literally,
Hulkens.
I am
I
obsessed with
need to
my
get another
Hulkens.
one.
I know, I heard someone say that they got those for teacher gifts, and I was like, "That's genius. That is, like, the best because 'cause they're always lugging stuff in and out of the school. I'm like, "They're not just for resellers, that's so smart."
It's for everyone. I use mine grocery shopping. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean to
Anyways,
interrupt.
no, you're good. You're good. But there have been many, many times that I haven't or that I have sold things that people would be like, no, like, don't pick that up, and there have been
Mhm,
many times where that sells for an insane amount of money, and that is one and I don't know how you are with this, but I am a huge research person, especially when I was thrifting.
mm,
I would like, if I had, like, an inkling that something was worth a lot of money, I will do 30 minutes of research on
mhm,
that item. Not this is not for every item because that's just a waste of time, but if I have, like, a gut feeling that it's worth money, I will do digging to figure out exactly how much I should list it for, and often I find out, like, these things are way more valuable, you
mhm.
just have to find the right person. And so I feel like
Exactly.
that happens all the time. Like you and I mean, I just saw someone talking about selling Aerie, and I bought an Aerie palette a couple months ago, and I had people on TikTok being like, "Aerie doesn't sell, Aerie doesn't sell," and I'm like, "No, Aerie doesn't really sell that well on Poshmark, eBay,
Mhm.
whatever. It's really good for Whatnot because it's a brand people love
Sells
and
on
they
Depop, sells
yeah,
on Depop.
but there are specific styles of Aerie that will
Mhm,
sell for 40 bucks.
mhm,
That's almost as much as they're paying in the store, but there are specific styles that are sought after. So again, you just can't blanket statements don't work for reselling. You can't say this brand's off limits, don't pick up this brand because there are specific items within probably every single brand that could sell for a decent
mhm.
amount of money and make it worth your time.
Exactly. I don't do a lot of research. I go with my gut because I pick up
Mhm.
really, like, random pieces.
Yeah.
When I started, I was doing more research. I would, like, do the Google Lens and in the store, and now
Mhm.
I've gotten to the point where I, like, kinda know, but I
Mhm.
also price stuff like my vintage sweaters that I sell, people would be like, "Oh, yeah, list that for $35." I'm like, "No, I list it for $250 or more."
Yeah.
I've sold vintage sweaters for, like, $600, like, and it is some research, but I don't go off of comps, and this
Mhm.
might be
That's
why I
so
have
interesting. I love that though.
yeah, it might be why I have a huge storage unit full. But, like, when it does sell, it sells because you have to I don't know, and that I mean, that's a perfect example of, you do research on certain things where I'm like, I go off of my gut on things, and it's
Mhm.
more, everybody just has their own way to do it because there are people like you in the world, and there are people like me in the world who are
Right.
gonna, like, want to buy weird stuff.
Mhm.
Something I've also been seeing is people talking a lot of junk on kind of the old lady brands, Chico's, J. Jill, Eileen Fisher,
Mhm.
all of these, and I'm kinda getting upset about it because they're actually very high quality pieces, and
Yeah.
they might sit depending on the style, right? Not everything's gonna sell, but, like, I pick those things up for myself. They're usually silk, linen, wool, cashmere.
Right. They're all natural fibers. Mhm.
Yeah, and it feels like people are just, like, dogging on these old lady brands because they're old lady brands,
Right.
and it's really upsetting me, like, I have sold a Chico faux fur jacket to a 6'5" guy who was going to Burning Man, and, like, I just feel like people need to get the notion out of their head, like, "Oh, this brand is only for old ladies," or this it's like,
Yep.
"No, this is a quality piece, this is nice, this is" they
Mhm.
also retail for, like, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. Eileen Fisher, I'm like, that brand is insanely expensive.
Dude, Chico's is even expensive, like, their
Yeah.
little jackets are like 200 bucks,
Yeah. That's crazy.
and Talbots and I sell those things all the time, so my most somebody would have told me, "Don't pick this up, it's a Talbot skirt." I sell Talbots all the time.
Mhm.
Picked it up, I sold it for $180. I made
That's
what is that,
crazy.
144? But
Yeah.
it's not the first time I've done that for, like, basically that specific skirt.
And I bet hundreds of other people would have passed that up simply because of the brand.
Yeah. And or the size because it's a
Mhm.
size 6, which is really like a size 0 or 2 because it was
Right.
vintage, and I just think you have to be like, whatever you're attracted to, and,
Mhm.
we're all moving toward more natural fabrics, but I also still wear polyester and I sell
Same.
polyester.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's also, like, this villainization of polyester and synthetics,
There definitely is.
and it's
Yeah.
like, well, everything has a place, like,
Yeah.
I used to work out in cotton, but, like, cotton poly blend, and
Yeah.
I just remember being do you remember that back in, like, the early 2000s? That's what we were
Yes.
working out in? It
Yeah.
was disgusting,
Yeah,
like,
you're, like, soaking wet. It, like
all d
yeah, holds onto moisture. Yeah.
yeah, and people are now like, "Oh, we should go back to that," and, hey, nothing against cotton,
You're like,
but,
"You
like,
can, but
go
it's not gonna
for
be
it,
comfortable." Yeah.
and there's a reason why it's, like, wicking and all of moisture
Mhm.
wicking and all of that, so, anyway, that was just a rant because it's really been stuck in my craw that people are talking
I know.
so much junk about how people are running their business or what they're buying.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. I have a question for you. So do you
Yeah,
do, like, style keywords? Are you, like, heavy on that on your listings? Like, I'm just wondering
yeah,
because I know, like, some people, they're really specific. They'll put in, like, trying to attract the right buyer. So what do you do when you're putting your listings in? Do you put a bunch of
Yeah.
keywords? How do you
So
do
the way
that?
I do it, so I started off, and this is another controversial thing, and I've had to kind of work through it. I use AI to do my
Mhm.
listings. And the reason why is I want to get these things in front of people and I don't want them to all
Yes.
go. And so you have to kind of balance it out, and working in tech too. So this is another thing. People are going to tell you don't use AI. AI is bad, right? There are reasons for that. But if you
Sure.
look at Salesforce, I've worked at Salesforce, I've worked at Unity, I've worked at really large companies in tech.
Mhm.
Us sending like 500 queries in AI a week, they're doing that in like milliseconds all
Yeah.
day, every day. And so I think and my husband, so my MBA is in sustainability. And
Okay.
so I have like a lot of this kind of marketing that has gone into
Yeah.
my brain that's like, no, you have to recycle this, you have to do this. And it's really,
Mhm.
this is another controversial take, it's all marketing. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's putting it on the consumer when it's like, well, what do you think like Clorox is doing? What do you think this brand is doing? What
Right.
they are doing is so much worse than you could ever do
Mhm.
as one person. And I get that if we all band together and we recycle, and obviously I
Yes.
recycle and I do all of
Mhm.
that, but it's really about like, yeah. So anyway,
Mhm.
my husband has taught me a little bit more to be like, no, you're being brainwashed, and this is like the
Yeah.
greatest marketing scheme. But so I use AI. So initially I started off using ChatGPT, and I have the paid version of both ChatGPT and Claude.
Mhm.
And I experiment a lot, but you create a project, and I can also, if anyone's interested, I can also link my project and
You
like
should,
the
absolutely.
description.
Yeah.
I'll put that in here. But so I have been doing an experiment, and actually when I use Claude, it sells quicker, which is interesting,
Mm.
but you have to create like you do the paid subscription, and you write like very detailed stuff about what you wanna do, and then I have it, like, create it for me, but you have to know, like, your product in
Mhm.
order to make this work, right? You can't just have AI do it
Throw
for you.
something into it, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
you have
sense.
to be like, "Hey," because it's gonna tell you the wrong price. So AI has always underpriced everything for me. I will always go way up from there. And so
Yeah.
like lately I have been pricing it a little bit more as what Claude does just because I wanna move stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have a whole project in both, and then also to make AI images if I need to.
That's cool.
But most of the stuff like that sells for a lot, I don't use AI images for,
Mm. Yeah.
or even like I just take my own pictures, and I'm not great at taking pictures. So
Same.
again,
Yeah.
like you don't have to. We were talking about this offline though. So Ruthie Rams, or Ruth Ramsey, she just hit in February 1.5 million on Poshmark, and she's been selling for what, 4
I
years?
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Not as
It,
long as I thought.
yeah. And
Definitely less, yeah.
she only sells on Poshmark,
Yeah.
and she is selling, she's this month she is on course to do more than $60,000 in 1 month on Poshmark. And
That's
that's
so
gross, right?
insane. Yeah,
She
so
doesn't do
insane.
measurements. She doesn't do her own pictures. Does she even put the care tags? I don't even think she
I
takes
don't know.
pictures of
Yeah,
the
I
care
don't.
tags
Right.
and like the material content.
Mhm.
And everyone would tell her she's doing it wrong. But
And
are
she's
they,
not gonna be successful. Yeah.
yeah, but
Mhm.
are they making 60K a month on
Right.
one platform? Oh, and everyone's saying cross list. She doesn't do that either.
No.
She
I
doesn't do
know.
any of it. And she is
No,
so
talking to her, it, like, blew
successful.
my mind because I'm just like, all the things they say, "You have to do this," like, the non-negotiables, "Do X, Y, and Z." She doesn't worry about it.
Mhm.
And she's just, like, blowing it out of the water.
Yeah,
Like
and it's because
yeah.
of her product knowledge and her product,
Mhm.
and, I mean, so I started liking so I went to her closet because I was like, "I wanna see what she sells." She has excellent stuff. I don't know
Mhm.
if you've looked at it yet.
I haven't.
I'll
Yeah.
send you her link. It's like I'm like, "Oh," and her photo. I'm like, "How do you even find these?"
Right. Yeah. She probably spends a lot of time finding, like, the stock photos.
Yeah, I mean, it's stunning. Her storefront, I was looking at it, I was like, "It looks like Neiman Marcus."
Yeah.
Like, it truly, like, but anyway, that is the rant of the day where I'm like, "Do what works best for you," and I'm big
Yes.
on gut too, but gut plus research plus
Oh,
knowledge.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's been going on? We haven't talked in a few weeks. How have you
I
been?
know. Good. So busy. We are just, like, in the thick of sports right now. I have 4 kids in baseball, 2 kids playing football, and I'm going crazy. So, I have been so busy. So, I was telling Sam earlier, I'm like, "I need to get, like, back in the reselling groove because I feel like I've just been so overwhelmed. I've been out of town. We've been all over the place." So, yeah. So, I've just been doing my,
Wait,
like, one what not show a week because that's literally all we can handle right now. But
and you know what people would say? That's not enough. You need to show up for
oh,
8
yeah.
hours, not just 2 hours or
100%.
whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Mhm.
and How is it going in terms of your
That's
selling?
great. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think it's really fun. Whatnot is like a whole different beast because like you really have to build your community there. But it's
Mhm,
like even last night, I just did like a $1 starts blowout. It was not like amazing stuff. It wasn't amazing brands. It's all new stuff from my palettes, but not like not incredible stuff. Not like my favorite show to run personally. Like it's more just
mhm.
like I have to clear the stuff out. And I had over 100 people in there in the beginning. And
Whoa.
it's just like stuff like that. I'm like, I don't show up. I'm not posting on social media right now just because I'm so overwhelmed. I'm not really, like, actively growing that platform, so it is really fun to see that the work I have done in the past is still propelling me, and I'm, like, holding steady. Does that make sense? Because, like, yeah, right now
Absolutely.
I'm not able to dedicate the amount of time that I have been able to dedicate, in the past, and I'm like, "But it's still great," and I had a great show last night. I think we sold, like, 215 items in 2
Holy
hours.
cow!
Yeah, so it's like it's still just an amazing show, and Ryan was my husband was telling me this last night. He's like, "You're overwhelmed, but you can still show up, and you can make a couple $1,000s, sell 200 items, and then go back to being a mom," and that is, like,
Mhm.
just the best part of reselling for me because my personality is like, I wanna go 100% in all the time, but, being a mom really slows me down, and it makes me have to, like,
Yeah.
prioritize, but also I'm like, I'm so grateful. Like, how lucky am I that I get to do this and I can show up when I can
Mhm.
for my job, which it doesn't even feel like a job, but it is, and then I'm, like, just with my kids and present, and I don't ever have to, like, I normally do my Whatnot shows on Wednesdays, but we have been so like, my son right now has 2 baseball games a week, and I'm like, "I'll never miss a baseball game for a Whatnot show." Like, I can always move my Whatnot show so that I can be there for his baseball games, and I don't know, I just feel really lucky, and it's been good, but mostly momming.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole point of this, right? Like,
Exactly.
we've all
Mhm.
been brainwashed into do more, go faster, build it bigger when it's like
Yep.
when you step back and you're like, "Wait, why am I doing what is the whole
Mhm.
point of this?"
Yeah, like,
Like,
what's the purpose?
yeah, and you
Mhm.
making a few $1,000s, I'm sorry, that's incredible, to do,
Yeah.
like, such
Mm.
small work, and I know that you have done so much to build up
Yeah.
your
Mhm.
whatnot and everything like that, but, yeah, I think that's I don't know how you're doing that because we just have a couple of activities, so
Yeah, I feel
we
like I'm drowning. Football ends this week, and I'm just, like, so done. I'm like,
well,
"If we
and
can just focus on baseball, my life is gonna feel so much easier."
when are they out of school? Because 'Cause aren't they,
So
like, your
we
ones who are in school?
Yeah, we have 3 weeks. So, also, I feel like May
Us
is
too.
just the most insane month for school. We have, like, fun runs, we have fundraisers, we have field trips that I am expected to be at, so May is just insane. So,
It's
yeah, I'm kind
interesting,
of
yeah,
looking forward to it.
we have just a couple of weeks left too, but they kinda leave us alone, other than I
Mm.
accidentally signed my husband and I up for pickleball tournament,
Oh, that's
so
fun.
so with the faculty, I thought I was just, like, paying 50 bucks, but no, I was
Yeah,
signing us up.
oh, fun.
Yeah,
You're
so
like,
we're doing
"That's
that.
not what I meant."
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I've never played, but we're gonna go." So, but they kinda leave us alone. We have a couple of things that we have to do at the end of the year, but we just started getting into organized sports, and so we're now
Mhm.
recruiting people to be on our soccer team because 'cause I'm like, "Hey,
Oh,
come
that's
on,
so
moms,
fun.
come on,
Yeah.
and let's hang out." So that's what we did on Mother's Day. Oh, yeah, how was your Mother's Day?
Oh my gosh, it was actually amazing because I was out of town. We went to Universal Studios for my sister's 30th birthday. She is a
The one
huge
in
Harry Potter fan.
LA?
Yeah, we just went to the one in LA, and she's a huge Harry Potter fan, so we surprised her. We didn't tell her we were going. We were like, "We're just gonna do, like, a little overnight thing down where they live," and then we just went to the airport, and it was so fun. So then we came back Saturday night. So then on Sunday, I was like, "I just had a break from my kids. I'm, like, thrilled to see them. I'm in a great mood because I had a little bit of a break." So it was a really good Mother's Day. How was yours?
Good, I love Universal Studios, by the way,
Yeah,
like,
it
how
was so fun. Yeah,
it's
I
so
haven't
much
been there
better than
since I was, like,
Disneyland.
12. Yeah, it was such a blast, and really, like, a fun adult trip too because,
Mhm.
like, I was like, "I don't know, my kids would love Mario and Harry Potter, but the other stuff I don't know that they would really care for."
Yeah, I like that you can, like, walk around and it's, like, it's not
Mhm.
as crowded as Disney,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we read, what is it? The Mina Lima, studio, I guess, is the one who, like, did the graphics for Harry Potter, and they have a bunch of
Mm.
books that they have kinda
Oh, that's
condensed
cool.
and, illustrated for kids, and so we have the Harry Potter series for
Mhm.
kids, and then they have a bunch of other ones, but they've, like, taken some of the scary stuff out. We can't really get past book
Yeah.
2 though for Harry
Yeah.
Potter. It
Yeah,
gets
it
a
gets
little
just scarier and scarier.
yeah, so we're still on book 2, but I'm, like, so excited for when that happens. But my
I
Mother's
know.
Day was great. My
Good.
son slept in till almost 9,
Oh my gosh, you're like, "That's the best present right
and
there."
I was like, "Of cour" yeah, but I was like, "Wait, on the day I don't have to get up with you?"
Right. You're so right.
And then they made me breakfast, and it was very low key. We went out to lunch with some school friends, and then we did soccer. We,
Mm.
like I recruited people, and so it was really low key. My son the next day woke up and he was like, "Why is there only Mother's Day and Father's Day? I want a day where I can just watch and eat whatever I want to do and do whatever I want." And I was like, "Oh, okay, we can
Yeah,
do that for your birthday." And my
yeah,
husband's
yeah,
like,
we'll call that your birthday.
"Yeah," he's like, he can't eat whatever he wants. I'm like, "Okay, but he can just watch all day if that's what he wants to
Right,
do."
right, within
Um,
reason.
Within reason, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was really I feel like I'm at that point in motherhood where I don't like, I wanted to hang out with him.
Yes. And isn't that so nice when you finally are like, "Yeah, I'm here, I want to do this."
Yeah, yeah. So that was good. But I too have been struggling a little bit with the listing part because I don't think I told you did I tell you about this? How there's a funky smell on the floor at in my
No.
storage unit? Okay, so I I pay up for my storage units, as you know.
Mhm.
And the reason I do this is I want it climate controlled. I want it to be close to my house. I want it to be,
Yeah,
in a certain town. Um, and I don't know what's been going on, but they had somebody move in and it smelled like cat litter. Luckily, that person
yeah.
moved out like 2 days later,
Mm.
and now it's been smelling for like 2 weeks like a dead rat.
Ugh.
And finally, I went downstairs and I was like, "Hey, I have too much vintage, like, natural fibers. I cannot do this."
No,
And
it's just gonna
so
absorb all that smell.
yeah, and so they're like,
Ugh.
"Yeah," and then they also were like I'm like, "Also, my rate went up," and they're like, "Oh, we'll just drop your rate back down." And I'm like, "Okay." So that was another thing I learned
Like
this
that
week where
easy?
just, like,
Mm.
ask them to drop your rate, and so I've been having to move my storage unit, but you'd be very proud of how it looked prior, and then I'm gonna send
Yeah.
you videos of how it's
Yes,
about to
please
look
do.
because I mean, it all worked out perfectly because I couldn't find a couple items. I found them as I was moving
Oh,
everything out.
good.
But then last night, I went to pick up a couple items that sold last night, and because the girl needed it by Saturday, somebody on my other floor moved in a bunch of stuff that smells like cigarettes, and that's even
Oh
worse. And
my
so I'm like, I
gosh.
have to after we hop off this call, I'm gonna go and talk to them about having to move out of there because I'm like, cigarette is like
Oh, that's bad.
non-negotiable.
Yeah. And
Like,
people, if you sell them stuff that smells like cigarette, they're gonna be pissed.
and it's like, so I went there. I'm like, thank gosh, I go so often to my storage units that I
Yeah.
know that these smells are happening. And I know that like the people there are great. They're also upset because they're like, we have these rules. You're not supposed to move this stuff in.
Yeah. But that's also a nightmare for you to have to keep moving. Like, that's a
So
lot of work.
so I'm gonna try to figure out. I'm gonna go talk to them and be like, what can we do? Because I can't keep moving.
No, you can't.
And I mean, I think I know because I watched these people move in. And again, I am
Mm,
there literally every day, so I'm seeing what's going
yeah,
on. So anyway, that's what's going on for me with reselling. So I've been very focused on like organizing and getting everything together,
yeah.
which means I haven't been listing, which means I haven't been
Oh,
selling as much.
I know. Isn't it so interesting, like, all the different facets of reselling? Like, sometimes you have to put your energy into this, which will in turn make you money later when you're more organized and able to move quicker, but yeah,
Hmm.
those are the hard
Yeah.
parts.
I think I am going to hire a summer intern though. Have you thought about that?
I have where I run it out of my house, that's where I, like, run into I'm like, "Do I want people coming into my house?" I don't know.
Do you have older like nieces or people in the neighborhood?
Not really, my kids are the oldest, like, I'm the oldest, Ryan's the oldest, my kids are, like, the oldest cousins and stuff, so we don't really have a lot of that, but we probably like, I could probably find, like, a neighbor kid,
Yeah,
like,
I was thinking about that.
to help yeah.
Maybe I'll ask the kid down the street because I feel like yeah. So I gotta find someone because I just ordered my first I haven't opened it yet. Do you have one of these? But it's a light box, like a big one.
I don't, but that I feel like that is so valuable. It
Because
just
my
makes your
back
pictures look so good.
yeah, mostly for yeah, pictures, but also my back. So I want a place where it can just be consistent, but
Mhm.
then also my back, like bending over. Another thing they don't talk about,
Oh,
bending
yeah.
over and measuring and,
Yes, it's hard on your
like
body.
yeah, I'm like, I feel so
Mhm.
old, and I am kinda old. But anyway, that is it for my rants today. Do you wanna talk about this ThreadUp report that we found?
Yes, I am so excited. I found this so interesting, and also it's, like, really encouraging for resellers.
Yes. Well, not mentioned in the report, but Resellers get a bad rap, stealing from the poor, taking things from people who can't afford it, pricing it up. Why do we price it up? Well, 92 million tons of textile waste are produced globally each year. And this is the big part, a huge portion is coming from the US. So 11.3 million of those are from the US alone.
Wow, that's crazy.
And this is from United Nations Environmental Program website. So and that's just talking about textile waste. That's not even talking about, all the glass or pottery or
Right.
electronic or all of those. So,
Yeah, that's insane.
yeah, so we're digging through trash like seagulls.
We're doing some damage.
Yeah. But I'm going to share my screen so we can go through this together and we'll put this on YouTube so you all can see it too. Okay, so we'll also link this, but it's the ThreadUp 2026 resale report. And this I found really interesting, which is why it's their headline. The global secondhand apparel market is projected to reach nearly 400 billion by 2030, and it's
Yeah, that's
growing twice
crazy.
as fast. Yeah, two times faster than the overall apparel market,
Wow.
which is crazy.
No, it's insane.
So if you didn't buy pallets, what happens to those items? Like if pallets weren't being purchased, do you know?
So, a lot of the pallets that I buy are liquidation, so stores that can't sell it. So, if they
Mhm.
can't sell it and there's not a liquidation company buying it, it's probably just going in the trash.
Yeah.
And then the other portion is recovered freight. So, if an item never makes it to its final destination, again, it would probably just end up in the trash if they don't have anywhere to get it, because
Yeah.
at some point, if there is a hiccup in the freight line, then they just either have to throw it away or they're offloading it to companies.
Yeah. I've also started noticing, because we're seeing a lot of traditional retailers go out of style, not out of style, but
Yeah.
like they're going bankrupt. Neiman's,
Yeah.
I bet Neiman's is going to close, but like all of these places and boutiques are closing. So I don't know if
Mhm.
you've noticed this, but at my thrift stores, there's been tons of new with tags, kind of mid
Yes.
tier brands. You've been seeing
Mhm.
that too?
Oh, yeah, or, like, boutique items. I know big
Yes,
boutiques are huge on, like in this side of the country, I don't know about for, like, California, but,
they are
like
here too,
yeah,
especially like
and so we
online boutiques.
yes, and we will just see, like, mass amounts, and you'll have, like, full size runs of the same top with the new tags on, and they're just
Hmm.
sitting there, and then, of course, the thrift store is trying to charge you 20 bucks for a top because it has a new tag on it, but
Yeah, that's another thing too. Goodwill and all these thrift stores get really bad raps for, and I know we had talked about this briefly, for pricing things up that they get for free. But and there are things to be said about that, but they also give people a chance to have careers who can't be
yeah,
hired elsewhere, which
mhm,
I think often gets overlooked.
absolutely.
And they're doing things that other corporations wouldn't. So
Yeah.
I know people call it greed will, but and people get on them for like putting it online or whatever, and it's like everybody's just trying capitalism is the issue.
I know,
Um,
unfortunately.
so this I thought was interesting that the secondhand market and this is all about clothing because it's ThreadUp. If you don't know about ThreadUp, do you sell on ThreadUp at all?
I have never sold on ThreadUp, which is crazy because I feel like most resellers dabble in it at one point or another, but no, I never have. I have bought stuff off of ThreadUp, but
Me too. I bought stuff as like a consumer off of there, and I just sent in two
mhm.
bags, but then items sold, so they're sending them back to me.
Oh,
But I know a lot of people are right now sending in bags to ThreadUp because they're kind of getting to reseller burnout.
yeah,
So that is why I'm looking at this in particular. But it says secondhand represented roughly 10% of the global apparel spend, which I feel like that is low. So I'll be interested to see in 2026 what that ends up being because I
I
feel like
agree.
it's just exploded.
Yeah,
And then if you look at this chart, I mean, North America, but Asia surprised me that they are, um, like how quickly it's growing. But I guess
mhm,
everyone talks about like going to China and Japan for their vintage.
yeah, and generally speaking, like, Asia is always, like, the
Yeah.
blueprint for us, like, they're always gonna be 5 to 10 years ahead of us, and so everyone is always like, that is one thing. I know Gary Vee talks a lot about that right now with live selling. They're like, China has been live selling it like, that is making up such a massive amount of their sales for, like, the past couple of years, so, generally, we follow suit in that. It's, like,
That
a
makes
good way to
sense.
forecast.
Yeah. Well, here is the US market sizing. And so It's expected to reach nearly 80 billion, the secondhand market in the US
Wow.
by 2030, which is bananas. And most of that, well, not most, but like 40% they say is going to come from is driving the growth is Gen Z and
Yeah.
31% is millennials. But I will say I am starting to get a lot more buyers who are older,
Yeah.
which I am loving.
Mhm.
But like older women in particular have been shopping secondhand more, which I think is amazing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I mean, I think I'm even at that spot, like, if I want something, I will go to Poshmark, I will go to eBay first, just
Mhm.
to see if they have the thing I want, and then if they don't, then I'll buy it new. But it always is, like, my first stop.
Yeah. I do that except when I buy something off of TikTok Shop because that
Yeah,
is
oh,
very
yeah, same.
impulse.
Yep. Mhm,
And I'm
same.
like somebody had a really good tip that I hadn't thought of before. She is also a creator. She was like, "If I see something on TikTok Shop that I want," like, if she's, like, scrolling or whatever, she'll go
Mhm.
and try to find a creator who is selling it rather than just the store so that they'll get the commission, which I thought was a
Yeah.
cool tip.
Yeah, that is so nice because that definitely helps the creators.
Yeah, but so basically what this is saying is the resale market, I think this whole report is basically it is just exploding and
Mhm.
it's going to keep getting bigger and I think this is interesting. Nearly 6 well 59% of consumers shop secondhand in 2025,
Yeah.
which is up 7%, but I this is again 2025, so I'm curious to see what it's going to be in
I
2026
am too, yeah.
because I think it's just gonna explode. I've also do you get a lot of, recurring customers?
I don't. No, I honestly don't see that I do, but I think I sell just such a weird, massive range of stuff, you know?
I bet
Like
I'm curious, I bet if we looked in, you would because I didn't know I was getting repeat
yeah,
customers even on Etsy, and they were like, "Yeah, I bought from you before and you shipped quicker before, and I'm disappointed that you didn't, like, ship as quickly." And I'm
you're
like,
like, "Great."
"Oh, I didn't even know you had purchased from me before," and I'm starting to get it
Yeah.
on Depop too, but they don't flag
Interesting.
it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I feel like I've seen it a couple times on eBay where they'll say, like, returning buyer or repeat buyer or something like that. I'm like, anywhere else, I haven't noticed, but
Yeah, yeah. And this kinda goes into what you were just saying about, um, how you'll look on a secondhand platform first. That it's basically reiterating that, where it's like
yeah,
people are going to Poshmark first. And I will say, I feel like Poshmark, at least in the US, is the number one place people go
I
unless they're
totally
Gen
agree.
Z.
For
It's
clothing, for sure.
for clothing. Yeah,
Yep.
Gen Z definitely goes to Depop.
Depop,
Um,
yep.
Also, Depop buyers are really nice.
Yes, yeah, if they'll freaking pay for their stuff. Do you have that issue a
Yeah.
lot where they'll send you an offer and never pay?
Oh, yeah. So,
Because
pro
I'm,
tip
like,
on
so
that.
over that.
Pro tip, send them a message and be like, "Hey, I can get this out today or tomorrow once you
Yeah,
complete the purchase," because I also like a lot of stuff on Depop. So when you like oh, no, I've never sent an offer.
yeah,
No, I don't send offers on Depop. I, like, get overwhelmed, so I just buy it.
yeah. I know, I feel like that would be such an easy fix for Depop just to make the payments automatic. I don't know why they haven't done that.
Yeah, Vestiaire does that too, where it's not
Yeah.
automatic.
Yeah, eBay used to be that way, but now it is. I feel like 90% of the time. Every once in a while, I'm like, "Why didn't they pay?" But
Yeah, they've
you
also
now
changed.
it's yeah.
Have you seen eBay is kinda changing back to more like Depop? So now they have 48 hour no, now they have 4 days to buy.
Yeah, I hate that.
So
That's
this
so
is
frustrating.
new
It's
because I
also really frustrating when you're cross-listing and you're like, "Okay, but it's gonna sell somewhere else," especially for, like, a sought-after item.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened once they acquired Depop is they started doing that. So I was
Mm,
like, 4
interesting.
days? That's a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a
But
really long time.
you can delist it. So that is the thing, is
Mhm.
you even
Yeah.
though you accept it, because I was worried about that too.
Yeah.
This I thought was interesting in how AI is, like, helping people shop.
Yeah.
What is I don't even know what this is. 63% say they're comfortable with agentic buying. I have no idea what that means, but I think it
I don't
means
know what that means either.
AI purchasing, and I don't believe this
No.
because how is AI gonna buy my product for me? I
No.
I will say if they're talking about it where it's the algorithm feeding you things that you're gonna like, Depop is
Yeah.
incredible at that. Poshmark, not
Mhm.
so much. Poshmark, I feel like, is trying to be more like a magazine almost.
Yeah. I am not a fan of Poshmark's search engine and all of that. I feel like it
Mm-mm.
is very confusing to find exactly what you want, where,
Yeah.
like, anywhere else you can type in if you know what you want, you can type it in, it's gonna pop up in the first 10 items.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they have it. Yeah, I feel like Poshmark, you have to dig a little, which
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
And
like
they
that.
also don't feed you they don't feed me the stuff I like. I'm like, I go on to
No,
Depop
yeah.
and it's all, like, everything that I might like.
It has
So
learned what you like and
mhm.
what you're clicking on, what you're liking. Yeah, I don't know why
Yep,
Poshmark doesn't do that.
yep. So this I think is interesting. So I have unlike Amanda, I am not, big on social media. I'm a little baby on social media, in terms of, like, posting because I've always been
Yeah.
really scared of it and being judged, and, like, kudos to you because I feel like you just show up, and I am
Yeah,
trying to
I'm more
learn from
scared of it
you.
now. I feel like it's kind of
Are
ruined
you?
me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like in the beginning, I was not that scared because I felt like no one knew me. Now I'm
Okay.
like, people are scary. People are mean. Anytime I have a video start to take off, my anxiety spikes because I'm like, you just know the trolls will come out. Once my video hits like 500,000 views, I'm just like, oh no. And I get scared to even open my app because people are,
Really?
oh yeah, because people can
People
be
are
so
mean?
mean. Oh yeah.
What? What do they mean about?
So many things, like how you look, how you sound, what you're doing, how I mean,
What?
my big thing, and this will be no surprise to anyone that follows me because so many people are, like, defending me in the comments, which is very kind, um, but people get really pissed that I don't tell people where I buy my palettes, and they're like, "Well, why do you post about it?" But they will say things like, they're not just mad, they will say just, like, the worst things about me because I feel like they're offended that I won't give them the answer, so then they're trying to cut me, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just crazy. So I have filtered my comments a lot, and that has helped because now I
That's
just
so
don't see it.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first comment we've talked about this before that I ever left for you, I was like, "Where do you get your pallets?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna give up my source, blah, 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 because it's gonna impact everyone's business." And I'm like, "Oh, duh." Like, it didn't
Yeah.
even cross my mind.
No, and I never want to be mean to people like that. You
You're
know, like
not
I'm like
mean.
because I also have asked other people before I was buying pallets, I was like, "Where do you get your pallets?" I didn't understand that there's just kind of like this unwritten rule in the liquidation industry that we don't share that.
In
And
any industry, though, like, you
no,
don't
I
wanna
know.
and I think I'm starting to learn that where I'm like, "Oh, I shouldn't be telling people," but it's also like, all that stuff is still like, yours is different, right? Yours is
Mhm.
palette, so it's different, but, like, at the Goodwill, everything's just gonna go
I know.
to the trash.
Yeah. And I also feel like I've struggled with it. We're feeling like, am I like, why am I such a jerk? Why? Because I know I feel like I put so much free information out on the internet,
You
and
do.
I really genuinely feel like I try to be helpful and I try to help people if they want to do this. Like I will. I'm not scared to share that. It's not a competition. Like even with whatnot, I'm like anyone that wants to do whatnot, you should do it. Like I don't feel any competition in that way. And the palettes are the only thing that I'm not willing to do. And so sometimes I just wanna be like, "I share so much other free information, and I'm sorry that this is the one thing that pisses you off, but, like, I'm not going to do
But
that." I don't know.
do your own research. I found palettes in
Exactly.
my
Yes.
area within 20 seconds if you just do
Yeah.
a Google search, and you have to
Right.
take the risk to be like,
I
"Is
know.
this real? Is this not?" I haven't
And
done
I
it
think
yet
that's a
because
lot of it too, is people
yeah.
don't they want me to say, "This is worth the risk. Go here because 'cause I've already taken the risk," right? But, like,
Yep,
the first time I bought this palette, I didn't know anyone else that had bought from this place. So I was taking a risk with thousands of dollars, you know? But they wanna say, "Well, make it easier for me," you know? Make it more worth my while, make it more worth my time. I don't know.
yeah. The other thing
It's
too is it
tricky.
dries up the source. So, like,
Yeah.
somebody posted about this one, and I won't say the name, kind of like, liquidation boxes, and you could buy, like,
Oh, yeah?
monstrum boxes. So I bought a
Mhm.
couple and, it was fine. It's not been my most lucrative because they
Yeah.
send you, like, 2 good items and then some,
A
like
bunch of, like,
yeah.
house brands. Yeah.
Or, like, used things, like, I got a Free
Mhm.
People bodysuit that was used, and I was like, "What is happening? This is all
You're
supposed to
like,
be newer tags."
"Gross." Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but they no longer do it because so many people were buying them. They no longer have the inventory, so they just do,
Yes.
like, mall brands now, and so that
Yep.
resource is dried up for people, and
Mhm.
it's like, this is the whole thing. But all this to talk about, is posting on social media. It says nearly half of the people who are buying secondhand are actually finding things on social. Um,
Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy.
which is
Mm.
something I have noticed. Oh, it's not even my screen is not has I've been like scrolling through and it hasn't been going.
Oh, it hasn't moved for me, no.
Ah, what a bummer. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and link this. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
scrolling.
definitely check it out because it's worth looking into.
Yeah, well, then I'm gonna stop because all right. So, but nearly 50% of people are finding stuff on social, which I actually have experience with this recently. I have been posting like consignment hauls or things that,
Yeah, I love
going
those videos. I'm like, I will watch those all day. They're so interesting to me. I love them.
Yeah, that one was in I posted one and, I brought up a political comment because, um and I'm noticing that people are not liking that, and I am
Mm,
just political by nature, it's just whatever, but
same.
people aren't realizing that, like, I'm getting some heat because they're saying, "Well, this is just an American flag purse, why does it have to be Republican?" And I'm like, "Guys, this is like a symbol, it's like Republican is elephant and Democrat
Mhm.
is donkey," which whatever.
Right.
And so it is interesting because it's like that was the first one I posted where I kinda got a little nervous because 'cause I'm like, "What if people go and they find my address or whatever?" And again, I have
Right.
everything linked to my PO box, but yes, so I have noticed an uptick in sales when I post on social, especially from new
That's
buyers
yeah.
and
Mhm.
specifically from older women and or people being like, "Hey, I found you on TikTok and I'm buying."
Wow.
And so that has been new for me because I never thought about TikTok or Instagram. I won't get on Instagram, but TikTok or any of those
Yeah.
platforms as a way to increase sales.
Mhm.
Like, I just thought it was a fun place to go, but now I'm like, "Oh," and, like, people are DMing me, wanting me to consign their stuff or wanting me
Yeah.
to sell stuff on TikTok, which I'm not quite comfortable with yet. I don't understand
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But have you noticed that when you post a video and when you go viral on, like, a palette video, have you
Mhm.
noticed more people coming to your Whatnot show or more
Oh, yeah.
people okay.
That's
So
the only
you're
reason I post them. Yeah, I mean, I also make money, like, I've made $2,000 off of a video before.
really?
Yeah, like, I had one it was probably, like, towards the end of last year, I think it hit almost 2,000,000 views, and I made 2,000 bucks off of that. So, obviously, I
Wow.
posted a little bit because I'm making money through the creator rewards program, but people will be like, "Why are you sharing this if you're not gonna tell us where you get it? Like, what's the point of putting" and I'm like, "Because this is marketing for my business."
Yeah,
That's
and
why
I
I
never
do it.
thought
The
about it
reason
like
I
that.
put it out there
Yeah.
is because this is how I market, because it's very interesting. It's an interesting way for people to see what they could buy from me on Whatnot. And so I always put on my video just in like small text because Whatnot TikTok is weird with Whatnot and sometimes they just won't show my Whatnot videos. And I think it's because there is a little bit of competition there because they are also doing live selling auctions now. Um, but I will always put like all of this can be found on my Whatnot Amanda Common Threads or Common Threads LLC. And I always have it linked in my bio. But then anytime when someone comments like, "Oh, how could I buy this?" or "When are you selling the free people?" or whatever, I'll be like, "Oh, Whatnot show on Wednesday." And I have had times where I've had 500 people bookmark one of my shows, and that is always
Wow.
directly after I have a viral video. And so if I could figure out how to have a viral video every week, I would be, like, making insane amounts of money, you know? And
Yeah.
I will say that does not translate to 500 people coming to my show, and I wanna be very clear about that because people will bookmark my show 5 days before I actually go live, and they forget about it or they don't see they're not available when I go live, you know what I mean? So, I think it is a little different, but yeah, I never thought about it for, like, driving sales to Poshmark and eBay like you are, which I think is genius, but I definitely look at it for driving sales to Whatnot. It's probably my main source of marketing. Like, how else are you gonna get
Interesting.
people there?
Yeah. Well, definitely in your link tree, put all your profiles in there
Yeah.
because
Yeah, I
I'm
need to
noticing
do
a
that. I
lot of
don't think I even have my Poshmark
I
in my
no, I don't
Linktree.
think you do because I was looking for the other day, but I've
Mhm.
noticed a lot of resellers do not have it in there, and so when
Yeah.
people are like, "How do you" and I didn't, like, have it
Mhm.
like, I had it linked, but people don't always click, but,
Yeah.
yeah. It is interesting, I never would have thought of things like this and that yeah, but the 500 so when you get people bookmarking it, I imagine that it pushes you higher in the algorithm so that more people will see it, would be my guess, because like, they're probably like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is a popular show."
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I think it does. I think it's more like how many people are present in your show once you go live. It like
M'kay.
the higher you rank. They also like on Whatnot they have a thing called Premier Shops, so you have to sell like $50,000 in a 90-day period. You have to like be like in good standing. Like there's a few metrics you have to meet.
Wow.
Um so those have their own like banner on the search like, page, which I'm like, that is just exposure right there, you know? Because
Totally.
every time someone scrolls, they're gonna see premiere shops that are live. I have not reached that. I don't know. I would have to be doing a lot more shows than once a week to reach premiere shops,
Well,
but
so here's the other thing, and y'all are gonna be hearing from some Whatnot sellers who have sold hundreds of thousands of
yes.
dollars in 1 year. They're doing 8 hours, 9-hour shifts 5 days a
Yep.
week. So when you
Right.
see these little snippets on social media, I think this has been a huge learning for me as a reseller. you're only seeing a snippet, right? Like, you're
Mhm.
not seeing everything else that they're doing. You're not seeing the hours that they're just sitting online with no one there.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. So
Mhm.
this screenshot actually brings us back to the beginning of the conversation where we were talking about brands that
Oh, yeah, it
are
does.
having a comeback.
Wait, that's crazy. Wow. I'm
So,
shocked at a lot of those brands. I am shocked at a lot of those.
yeah, so these are the okay, if you're listening on audio, I'm gonna tell you the 10 most shop brands on ThredUp. And
Yeah.
again, this is ThredUp, so keep that
Yeah.
in mind. So we have J. Crew, Zara, Ann Taylor Loft, Old Navy, Gap, Madewell, Banana Republic, Athleta, Lululemon, Ann Taylor. I will tell you, there are people online, all 10 of those they say is garbage. Do not buy
Yep.
those.
Yep.
Every single one, and I buy every
Mhm.
single one of those. Every single one of
Yeah.
those I buy. Less Lululemon lately just because I don't find it,
Yeah. Yeah. I
but
feel like that's one brand you can almost guarantee to be marked up too.
yeah.
Everyone loves to mark up Lulu.
Yeah, when I do find them, leggings are like $29.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, "That's not worth my time."
Yeah, so I'll buy it if it's, like, cheaper. And then standout
Mhm.
performers, Veronica Beard, no surprise, Farm Rio, no surprise, St.
Right.
John's, Johnny Was, and Fry. Fry is interesting to me because
Fry
Costco
surprises me.
Costco sells Fry, but my guess is this is the boots rather than,
Yeah.
like, the shirts because I have some
Yeah.
unlisted Fry items, but they are sold at
Mhm.
Costco now. And then brands having a comeback moment. Lily Pulitzer, which people say don't pick up. Also, fun fact, do you know Lily Pulitzer actually married into the Pulitzer family, like, who does the awards, like the Pulitzer Awards?
Really? I
So
had no idea.
she married into that family and then created her brand. So that is a fun thing. I always put that if you are selling that
Mhm.
brand, put that fun fact in. So I also try to do that in my listings. I try to put a fun fact about the brand in there, because
I like
people
that.
don't always know that why
Yeah.
this is so expensive or why this is so special. It's like, well,
Mhm.
this is, this era of I don't know, whatever, Johnny Was, whatever. Everlane having a comeback. Michael Kors
That
surprised
surprises
me.
me. Yeah, I
Mhm.
feel like Everlane surprises me too because they were at a peak a couple years ago, and I have only seen them go down. So I'm a little shocked with that.
But I will say Everlane sells. Like, if you pick up their
Yeah.
jeans in the right size and they're in good
Mhm.
condition, they will because 'cause they're a
Yeah.
very good quality jean. But you know who
Yeah, they
else
are.
makes great quality jeans? Old Navy and Gap.
I know, that's true. I love Old Navy jeans, like, some of my favorite jeans.
Yeah, no, me too. I have a pair of barrel jeans
Mhm.
that I bought from Old Navy. They're incredible.
Yeah.
Land's End. This is one I always pick up too. People will tell you, "Don't pick up
Mhm.
Land's End." And then my favorite, J. Jill. They also say,
Yep.
"Don't pick up J. Jill." And
Mhm.
so, again, you can see what the data is showing you here, and then you can see what people are having anecdotally in their own stores. So if somebody is telling you, "Don't pick this up, it doesn't sell," they're telling you more about their business than they are about the
Yep.
market.
Yep, I totally agree, and the one caveat to that, I would say, is if some of this stuff you might buy and it might sit forever. So I would always say, if you're on the fence, if you find, like, a Lands' End item and you wanna know if it's going to sell, just check comps really quick. I feel like
Mhm.
that is the one way to safeguard yourself from picking up items and ending up with thousands of items that are just sitting, because there are items from Lands' End that I have bought
Mhm.
that don't move, and then there are items like a down-filled puffer vest that is going to sell for a lot of money, and it's gonna sell really quick. So just check comps quick if you're on the fence, and also the more you do it, the less you're going to have to check comps because you're gonna know what sells and what doesn't sell, and I always like to say, like, is it a modern style? Like, is it
Mhm.
skinny jeans? It's might not sell. But is it a wide leg or a boot cut or a barrel? It's probably going to sell. Like, we also have to understand, like, what people are buying right now,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
I think that plays a big part in it too.
Yeah, and if you're finding these, I mean, this is on ThredUp, right? So if you want to experiment with ThredUp, we'll put this
Yeah.
report link in the episode summary so that you
Mhm.
can go and click on it, but it might be a good way to experiment and send those items in because if they're selling well, it is not saying how much they're selling for, I think is the other thing to take a caveat
That's
for,
a very good point, yeah.
is it's not selling saying, "Hey, this is the highest average sale or average
Yeah.
sale price per item."
Yeah.
It's saying this is just the most popular. Um,
Mhm.
so I will say keep that in mind, and definitely
Mhm.
they also have, I just heard about this online too from I wanna say her name is Nikki or something, has your estimate buyout price, like what you can expect to earn from
Oh,
ThredUp, so
I
we'll
like
also
that,
link
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But I will say what people are showing you on social media is very different than that calculator. So people are like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
made, $150 selling these Legence pants," and then I go and check on it, and I'm like, "It sold for
No.
$55 and it's 150 payout, $1.50
Yeah.
payout," and I'm like, "Why?" It cost
Yeah.
me more to go to the bins. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
social media can be very helpful to help you sell, to help you learn,
Yep.
but it can also be dangerous if you're taking
Yep.
everything at face value.
Absolutely.
So we have a couple really cool episodes coming up. So stay tuned next week. We're going to have Ruthie on. She has sold 1.5 million, as we mentioned, on
Yep.
Poshmark alone. We have Kelsey coming on. She has sold $300,000 just in whatnot in 6 months
Yeah,
or
and
something.
it was like 8 months or something. I think she
Yeah.
started in April of 2025 or something like that. So, an insane amount of money in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, we also have another person, a couple more people coming on named
Yeah,
Kelsey. One who has 26,000 items in her eBay shop, and she started, I think, in
that is
2020 or
crazy.
2021,
That's
and she is
crazy.
a mom to three little kids. Um, and then we're also, we're going to have people from all walks of life come on. We also have a vintage reporter and secondhand reporter coming on. I forget her name, but
Mhm.
she will be coming on in a few weeks. So stay
Yeah.
tuned. We have a lot of people coming on.
Yep. And if there's anyone you want us to interview that you like from social media, you'd like to learn from, you can always shoot me a DM on Instagram or you can message either of us on TikTok. So,
Yeah, and if you buy from somebody who you're like, "Oh, this would be a really good person," like on
mhm.
Poshmark, on Depop, whatever, because I really wanna talk to, like, top sellers in Depop
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Yeah, that would be
um
really fun, especially because a lot of them, like, there's a lot of people talking about reselling on social
mm,
media, but most of the sellers aren't, right? Most sellers are not talking about reselling on social media. They're just doing it. Like, that's
yep,
their job. They're doing it. So,
yep. There's one guy I wanna talk to, he just graduated college, but he's been in the top 10 for a year, and, like, he turned
wow,
his whole dorm room, and it's just, like, all jeans, um,
I love it.
and it's so interesting to see because I do feel like reselling is a great MBA program, essentially. You're learning how to do
Yeah.
all the different parts of a business
Mhm.
at one go. So stay tuned. Make sure that you follow and subscribe to this show so that you get alerted for
Yes.
new episodes. And again, every other week we're going to have a guest versus us talking.
Yep.
And that might change up sometime with summer coming up since we are
Yeah.
we are parents.
Yeah.
And then we're
It's gonna
also
be
hoping
crazy.
if you work at Poshmark, whatnot, any of those, or if you know somebody who does, we want to have folks from those companies come on. So we'll be doing some
Yeah.
outreach to them, but we want to, learn about the company, learn about how the algorithm works, all of that. So
Mhm.
thank you all for listening,
Yes, thank you. We appreciate you all.
and we'll see you next week.
Bye.